are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
Yes, sir. What is up to the Auburn family? What is up to my up-tempo gang? We are here for our Sunday morning live stream. I'm your host, Dustin Smith. Got my guy, Nick Frazier. Nick, Iron Bowl, another one. And I feel like we are going to do a repeat podcast today in a lot of ways because lo and behold, Auburn lost a one-possession football game. You remember, buddy, when you asked me maybe before the Mercer game, you asked me, Dustin, do you think Auburn has a chance at beating Alabama? You asked me a percentage.
Yes.
And I said 0. What is the word that I used in my reasoning? Culture. I said one word, Nick, culture. Alabama knows how to win football games. Auburn does not. Sure, we can have side discussions about refs. We're not going to do that on the show today because at the end of the day, the Auburn Tigers had an opportunity to win a football game.
They did.
Turnover by Omar Mapson. I don't know. I was at the game, so, it's kind of hard to see some certain things. Was that in the red zone? If not, it was right there at the red zone.
It was right outside the red zone. It was like on a 24, 25-yard line or something like that.
Yeah, and then Cam Coleman, obviously, right down there in prime scoring position at the end of the game. Auburn has a 4th and 3 or a 4th and goal from the 3 where they have the opportunity to get a stop on Alabama. You got to step up and make one stop. And, of course, Bama gets it, man. It's just – and on that drive, was the drive where the interception off of Omar, was that the same drive where there was like 3 almost fumbles? Well, there was 3 fumbles.
Yes, it was.
So
this
it just
was
kind
Justin
of
Jones. Yeah, all those guys.
It felt like Auburn was just begging. Like, we really want to turn the football over here. Like, can we please turn the football over here? And, eventually they got to it. So, really, man, I know that there are a lot of people out there that think that the Vanderbilt and last night, those 2 games, are vastly different than what has been seen over the past year and a half. And I couldn't disagree with that sentiment more, even though there is a large portion of the Auburn fan base that feels that way. As we look back at this game last night, buddy, just, what are your thoughts on another this 3 in a row now where Auburn had an opportunity to beat Alabama in what would have been a massive win for the program, where it's Alabama that makes the play in Jordan-Hare Stadium to win the football game?
Yeah. It was heartbreaking for sure, man. I can't I understand where a lot of people are coming from saying that there's a culture problem in Auburn and there's a problem of Auburn not making the play to win games. What I will say is what you can't do in certain games like this, and a lot of people may disagree with me, but I will go into detail about this later on in the week when I talk about this, because I have to corral my thoughts together so I can give a very coherent response so that it will make sense. Right now, it's going to sound like I'm all over the place, but hopefully you can understand what I'm trying to say. You cannot leave games like this in the hands of individuals who have a stake in seeing other teams succeed because of a brand. In my personal opinion, that's just how I see it. Alabama had the ball. If you go back to the 4th quarter, Alabama had the ball for majority of the 4th quarter. And on that drive, there were 2 crucial penalties on the defense that basically kept the drive alive for Alabama, and basically put them in position for Ty Simpson to throw that touchdown to Isaiah Horton. By the way, Isaiah Horton was the only receiver that scored touchdowns for Alabama in that game last night. 3 touchdowns for them. He's the only one. He caught all 3 of them. You had the pass interference call that was on Sylvester Smith, and then of course you had the roughing the passer call that put Alabama in the red zone. It was incomplete pass. Great coverage by Jay Crawford. It was incomplete pass. You would have made Connor Talty have to come out and make a field goal. He was making them majority of the night. but you would have made him come out.
This is the night he drills a 46-yarder.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you look at that and you sit here and you be like, does that have anything to do with it? You know, like those type of calls, those type of calls, you look at it and you saying, like, Auburn did what they were supposed to do on that side of the ball. If that doesn't happen, and I know we talk about if was a fifth, we'll all be drunk. But if that doesn't happen and Auburn gets the ball back with 6 minutes left and drive down the field and score, are we having a different conversation today? If Malcolm Simmons lines up on the line and that flag isn't thrown, are we sitting here saying that this is an overtime game? Because that was 7 points taken off the board. Let's just be honest about that. A procedural procedural penalty, something at the beginning before the play start, was the reason why Auburn had 7 points taken off the board. So I sit here and I say to myself, man, I get it. I understand the whole culture thing, but a lot of these times, a lot of these games, there is fixable things, in my opinion. There are fixable things that can be fixed. And I asked the question to you as well, and I asked the question to people in the chat. If the previous guy was in charge, if the previous guy was on the sidelines last night, when Auburn was down 17-0, would you have felt confident in Auburn coming back and making that a tie ball game going into the fourth quarter? That's a question that if you're in the chat, I would like for you to tell me yes or no if you felt different, if you would feel that way. Because I honestly feel that once if the other guy was on the sideline at that time, 17-0, and that happened, I'm just saying I don't think that game goes the way it goes. The part where I agree with everybody that's talking about the culture part is when it comes to the little things. That's where you build culture. That's what the culture, the discipline, all of that stuff is built when you're doing 110s in the summertime, when you're doing gassers, when you have to, when you're doing all of that type of stuff. That's where that is built at. That's where the culture part is built at. I understand that. And you got to understand too, man, a lot of people is not going to hear this argument, but you have a lot of guys. You have a guy that was the defensive coordinator who has to basically rebuild a culture. You ask him to rebuild a culture in 3 weeks. That's what you're asking him to do. You're asking him to step in and rebuild a culture within a 3-week period from a guy that's been there and that has set a losing culture. Is what you're saying. I sit here and I just ask the question. I just ask the question. Would you give if you had to take over a position from a person that was thoroughly incompetent for 9 weeks, and then you have to step in and try to fix that in a 3-week period in order to win games, or in order to make a metric, or in order to make a goal at your job or whatever, or whatever industry you work in? Wouldn't you want some of that grace as well? Wouldn't you be like, give me the same opportunity of trying to get the people in that I want to get in, or the people that I want, or the systems and foundations that I want to get in to fix, to see if this thing actually works? I mean, I understand. Like I say, I understand people feeling that way. I really understand you feeling that way. But this is literally a 3-week build, 3 to 4 week build that we've seen from this, and people are feeling drastically different about how it felt this past month. People have felt drastically different about the way Auburn football has looked than they have at the beginning of the year. I'm just saying. Feeling doesn't win games, but I tell you this much: you give the same people the same opportunity over offseason, and you see the difference. This is just give them the opportunity you gave the last guy, because he got ample opportunity and we didn't, and there was no change. So that's just my initial thoughts of it, my initial things of looking at it. Like I said, once I actually sit down and put a coherent thought together of what it is that we saw last night and how this can be fixed, I have a better way of presenting it. But off the top of the dome right now, that's just how I see it. I look at a touchdown that was taken off the board because he was not lined up on the line. I have pass interference call on Sylvester Smith on the drive. That was a 3rd down that they called a pass interference. That was a late flag. Then I see a roughing the passer penalty as well that put Alabama in position to win the game. And Auburn's driving the ball. and you call a play. Your star receiver makes a catch, makes a man miss, and he fumbles the football. Just little things, man. That's all it is. Just little discipline things, just the little things that you learn that you get in the summertime. Just stuff that I learned when I was playing ball, that when you doing them gassers, when you doing them 110s, when you got to put your hand on the line, when you got to have your shirt tucked in, when you got to have the right color socks on, all that type of stuff leads into those little type of things. That's just it.
So when you asked the question under the last guy, if Auburn was down 17-0, do you think they get back in it? My answer to that would be, I don't really care, because football is a 4-quarter game, and you never should have dug yourself a 17-0 hole. If you dig yourself a 17-0 hole versus a 10-2 Alabama team in the playoffs, then yeah, you're fighting upstream. And if we hadn't been sitting here for the last, like, it just feels like forever, saying, yes, Auburn fought hard. Yay. I know they fought hard. I never had a question when they were down 17-0. They were going to keep fighting. Matter of fact, buddy, I knew Auburn was going to fight. I knew Auburn was going to come back. When Auburn was down 17-0, I was like, you had that initial thought of it might, like, I was like, well, this could get ugly. But one thing we've seen with DJ Dirk and this DC at Auburn is there can be some slow starts, and he can adjust pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, halfway through the second quarter, the defense, because at first I was like, what is this running game from Alabama? The first quarter, they were running it at will at an Auburn defense that stopped the run all year. That definitely shocked me. But like we've seen under DJ since he's been the DC at Auburn, they adjusted well, and they played good football from there on out. Also, like we've seen under DJ, and this isn't all his fault, but when they had the opportunity to make the play, they didn't do it. And yes, I don't agree with some of those calls, but it's a tired argument. It's a tired argument, in my opinion. I'm just tired of. I can't come on here every game and talk about the refs anymore. Auburn found a way to lose a football game. So what I would say is if Hugh Freeze was still the head coach in that game, I think Auburn would have lost a close football game. Like that's
really?
I think Auburn would have lost a close football game.
Even with Hugh Freeze, even with the play, even with him calling plays, you still think Auburn would have lost this game 27-20?
Not 27-20. It may have been 17-10. It probably would have been a little bit more low scoring.
Okay.
I don't care if it's 55-54, Nick. I'm done, bro. I'm done with details. I'm done with excuses. I'm done with all that as an Auburn fan. Enough. This is the 5th straight losing season. So a lot of that stuff, I'm just over it, man. I need to see wins, and all the other stuff. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I think the people in charge of Auburn need to sit down and really kind of evaluate the process, because it's one of those things where, was Brian Harsin a good hire? No. Was Hugh Freeze a good hire? No. When nothing's official yet, so we'll see who the next one's going to be. There's strong indications that it's going to be DJ Durkin, but also I'm seeing people in chat saying like other stuff is starting to come out, which is why. And in this coaching search, I put in our member chat Friday, Nick. I said, guys, I'm out on trying to get the scoop.
That's what I'm saying. It's too much stuff. It's too much stuff. I said,
we'll just see Sunday, man, because only a handful of people know.
Exactly.
And that guy's name is John Cohen. So, it definitely looks and feels like it's going to be DJ Durkin. And one thing I do agree with you on is you can't expect DJ Durkin or whoever the interim head coach is to come in and completely change a culture like that in a few weeks, especially with how poisoned and how ingrained it is into Auburn. I'm definitely with you on that. I never expected DJ Durkin to come in and there to be this massive turnaround. I expected more close losses. What I was interested in was the offensive side of the ball. And I got my answer there. Hugh Freeze was 100% the main issue on the offensive side of the ball. So, but I didn't have the expectations of Auburn. What happened is exactly what we all kind of was the reasonable prediction. Auburn going 1-2. Losing to Vanderbilt, losing to Bama, and beating Mercer. And when DJ was named interim, I said Auburn's going to go 5-7. and lose 2 close games to Vanderbilt and Alabama
Mm-hmm.
and beat Mercer. So, and that was kind of like the logical way of seeing that play out. So, yeah, if Hugh was there Saturday, I think Auburn it still loses a close game, and I never expected DJ Durkin to come in and completely flip it in a couple of weeks. That would be a very unreasonable expectation. The pushback that I have, bro, is people that are saying that it did change. People are saying that the close loss at Vanderbilt is different. The close loss at Alabama is different than the other close losses under Hugh Freeze. To me, a close loss is a close loss. So where I agree with you is I agree with you on the standpoint of you couldn't expect DJ Durkin to come in as in an interim role and just flip it. I'm with you there.
Okay. I get that. Okay.
What I don't, and I'm not sure if you're saying this, but I see there's a lot of my comments, whether it be on social media or videos even prior to the game yesterday, but a lot of what what has been relayed to me is fans are saying, and it's not everybody, but there's a large portion that are saying, how can you not see that those losses are much different and that things got better? I'm not saying they got worse, and I didn't expect them to get better under DJ Durkin. I'm just saying they didn't get better. Like, the offense got better, sure, but the end result was exactly the same as what a close loss is a close loss. So,
and I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I understand exactly what you're saying now. I got it. Because I was a little confused, but now I get what you're saying. Now.
Yeah, the end result is a loss, man. So
yeah, I understand.
I'm not screaming at DJ going, "How did you not get this turned around?" I didn't expect him to. I expected him to go 1-2.
So, okay, I understand that. I get that. But let me play into that. Let me play into that narrative a little bit. All right. So let's look at the dichotomy between the two guys. All right. So the 10-3 loss against Kentucky, right? Did that not feel different than the 45-38 loss on the road to Vanderbilt or this past game? Like, did it not feel like as if this one thing didn't happen, Auburn, it could have been a different outcome for Auburn? Like, when you watch that game against Kentucky, the offense just looked like, and we go back to the offense because you have to score points. Like, the defense can't do everything. So when you look at the offense in that game, the offense didn't do anything in order to give you hope that even when they got the football, that they would go down the field and score. In this game, in those two games, did it not feel as if there was just a little more time left, or if there was just another opportunity, the offense would have did something to score or put the ball in the end zone? Like, let's play into that narrative a little bit on that side. Like, did it not feel that way to you? You was like, man, if we just had that one opportunity, like if we just had 20 seconds left, like I'm confident that this offense can get the ball in the end zone. Like, it didn't feel that way to you at all, to where we could be like, all right, I can see something moving forward. Not at all.
I definitely felt the offense got better for sure.
Okay.
And here's what I'll say too. I know that there wasn't massive change of scheme, because you can't massive change scheme in the middle of the season, right? The personnel is built toward. So what really didn't change, Nick? Play calling.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all that could have really changed. Like, I'm sure you maybe there's a few things you switched up fundamentally, but all in all, really it's the play calling that changed. So I think that in the year of 2025, Derek Nix is head and shoulders a play caller above Hugh Freeze.
Yep.
But in terms of if there was 20 seconds to go and Auburn needed to get a stop, I have no faith in them getting a stop. If there's 20 seconds to go and Auburn has to go down and get a score, I have no faith in them getting the score. That's where I'm at with it. It's not. I have completely kind of just pushed away from the details and the why and the how, because it's like giving somebody new ingredients every week and saying, all right, this time make the pie better. And
you don't care.
And they keep giving me shit pie.
So basically, you don't care how it's made. You just want the end result.
At this point, after 5 losing seasons of Auburn football, yes. I just want wins. I don't care if it's 3-2 every freaking week. I don't care. I don't care if it's 52-50. I don't care how it has to get done, man.
I got you.
I am sick and tired of watching what I watched this fan base do last night in that stadium and give it its absolute all, knowing what the outcome probably was going to be, and then having to walk out that stadium dejected because they had a little bit of hope once again ripped away from them. I'm tired of seeing that. If Auburn fans were as fickle as some other fan bases out there, then maybe, I would feel differently about some of this. But Nick, it costs, how much people were charging a park yesterday?
$100.
100, 120, 150, depending on the spot.
Yeah. Man,
just a park.
Yeah.
And if you didn't want to pay $100, $120 just to park in somebody's yard, then you had to park way down the road and walk in the cold.
Yep.
And guess what? We all walked long down the road in the cold as all the Bama fans drove down the road in Auburn, right through Toomer's Corner, where no toilet paper was on the trees, honking their horns, playing Dixieland Delight, yelling at us. Which they should, to the victor go the spoils. They continue to make the plays. I'm not knocking them for that. We had to take it. But I'm sick of having to walk down the road silently and take it. I got to go to Christmas again this year and hear this shit, man. I'm tired of it. And everyone else is too. So that's where I'm at. Let's get to some of these comments because we have a very, very solid crowd in here. Smash that like button. If it's your first time coming through. Subscribe to the podcast. 8 on the floor says, when you really have, hey, at least we're better a job than Arkansas. Yeah, when Pete Thamel said yesterday, the Alex Golesh situation might be at an intersection of Auburn and Arkansas.
Yeah,
I was like, oh man, are we that? Oh boy.
I heard that. I heard that. That was interesting.
Oh man. Wow. Welcome to the death spiral, in my opinion. Yeah, look, a lot of people not feeling good. And I'm not gonna tell anybody that they shouldn't be upset and be down because you are in the middle of the worst stretch of Auburn football. And it's one of those things where, it's like a kid not trying in school, but he's capable of making straight A's. And their parents are like, dude, I know you're smart. I know you can do it, but you keep goofing off and just not doing it. And that's kind of what the feeling is. It would be one thing if you were Auburn and you were, some mid-tier ACC program that didn't have the backing, didn't have the resources to be successful. But Auburn's not that. Everything is at Auburn for Auburn to win now. And Auburn has had 5 straight losing seasons. And yeah, so I get it, man. I get it. I definitely understand everybody's frustration. The twerking for Durkin crowd should be happy today. Hey, I'm going to give everybody a fair chance. We're definitely, and I got to wait till anything's official, obviously, because this cycle has just been crazy. Trust me, I'll definitely speak more on this whole thing. One thing that I do have no problem saying is that the way the process is played out, probably not a good look for John Cohen. But again, I want to wait until all this is final. And then trust me, I will have lots of opinion on the process and everything like that. But one thing I will always do, whether I think it's going to work out or not, is give whoever the head coach is a fair shot. But I do want to get your thoughts on something, Nick. I have it wrote down here. So I'll get to these comments, and there's something I want to ask you. If it ends up being DJ Durkin, there's a point I want to make, and I definitely want to hear what you have to say on it. So let's breeze through these comments because we got a lot of good ones here. Okay, got that one. The weakest link says, "What a joke! Oh well, at least we have another 3 years of cheaper tickets if they don't mind sitting in the upper deck." Are they getting cheaper, brother?
No,
hey, and watch out, man. They might move a game to Vegas, or they might put one up in Toronto. Hell, Auburn might be playing, might head out to Brazil because you can make $15 million in NIL. Correct, Dustin. The refs are a part of the story, but Auburn had plenty of chances to include the OK game to win. and they choke. Losing mentality, find a way to lose.
Okay. So you can say the same thing about the Oklahoma game. You can say the same thing about the Georgia game. Hell, you can say the same thing about the Missouri game, because actually in that game, Auburn had the lead going into the fourth quarter. If you want to make that argument, the Missouri game would be the best way to make that argument. You up 17-0 going into the fourth quarter. Missouri comes back, tie the games up, and then win the game in overtime, 23-17. If you want to make that argument. I'm just saying. I look at it and I'm trying to find the angle here when we talk about that, of just trying to figure out how I'm trying to understand, like, are people expecting something totally different in a 4-week time period from a guy that was fired? Like, I don't think I'm not gonna say that. I think people understand that you have to have time to be able to put in certain things to actually make a program great, or what you want it to be culture wise. Like, a lot of that, like I said, that stuff happens in the offseason. That happens in the offseason. That happens in off-season workouts. That's gonna happen when you get ready to go into winter workouts. That's gonna happen when you get ready to go into spring ball, and then when you get into your summer stuff. Like, that's where the culture is built at. That's where all that is taken care of and built at. To Dustin's point, that's true. It's just been a bunch of close games that Auburn has lost, and we can't and we just can't overcome that right now. But the thing is, if that's the case, and if that's the case, and we're saying we need another guy to come in, we need a coach to come in. That's not what we're not going to see that in the last couple of weeks of the season. You're not. It's going to take 7-8 months of the offseason for that to happen, for Auburn to not be the losers lose program. Is what's being portrayed right now. It's going to take January to March, the winter workouts. Then when you hit spring ball, and then the summer. It's gonna be the offseason program that's gonna change the mindset. The losing losers culture. You can't expect that in 3-week period. I played football. That happens in the offseason when you out there throwing up and you running 38 110s trying to make it in 15 seconds. That's a mindset thing. You can't do that in the season. My mantra is, whatever team you are by week 4 or 5 is what you're gonna be for the rest of the season. That's what you're gonna be. And we should have known that after the Texas A&M game, that what type of team Auburn was gonna be. So everybody that's saying that it's a losing culture, losing culture, I understand where you're coming from, but that's not gonna be fixed in the season. That's gonna be fixed literally starting in January when they start winter workouts. When a mindset is changed, then you're getting ready to get a new guy in, whoever that guy is, that's when it's gonna be fixed. But I understand the frustration. I do. I really get the frustration. But just give whoever the next guy is, let's give him the opportunity at that point in time and see how it looks then. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that. So my guy Ike Jones is going to pop in here, and me and him have had a little back and forth about this whole discussion of culture, and I know that Ike has some thoughts as well. Ike, can you hear me, bud?
Yep, gotcha.
All right, good deal, man. So as you can hear, a lot of discussion today about culture and how does Auburn get back to a winning culture. And so just to kind of lay out where I sit on this, I've been saying for a long time, well, I say a long time, at least the last 2 years, that it's abundantly clear that Auburn just doesn't know how to win football games. And it's a new way every week that Auburn loses football games. And to me, the Vanderbilt game and the Alabama game are just close losses in the end result, sure, the details look a little bit different. You definitely get answers as far as like Hugh Freeze, play calling issues, and that kind of thing. But the end result to me is the same. It's just another close loss, another close SEC loss. It's 3 straight home Iron Bowls now where Auburn had a chance in the fourth quarter to beat Alabama and to make the play, and they didn't do it. So my standpoint on it is there is a poisoned culture in Auburn in that football program to where they just find a way to. I mean, like, I love Cam Coleman. I've never said a bad word about Cam Coleman on this show, and I'm not going to knock him today because I know he's hurt more than anybody. But you can't fumble that ball there, man. But of course he did. Of course he did, because like it's always something. It's always something. So I'm at the point with it to where I don't think any individual player is solely the issue. Sure, is there like an issue at tight end? Absolutely. But like, it's always something new to me. It's us having these discussions of pre-DJ Durkin being named interim. What was the stat? If Auburn has scored 24 points, in any of these games, or they hadn't given up more than 24 points.
Yep.
So if they had just scored 25 in any of these games, they could have won. And then in the last 2 SEC games they lost, they gave up 27 and they gave up 44 or whatever it was. They gave up more than they had all year. They just found ways, no matter how, to lose games. And I'm at the point with it to where I don't think that individually the players are the problem. I've said multiple times on the show, I don't think individually any of those players are losers. You don't become a 4- and 5-star athlete at the SEC level if you're a loser. The grind that it takes to get to that point, I have nothing but respect for. But when they strap on that uniform, best uniform in college football, by the way, when they strap on that uniform and they go out there and put on for Auburn football, collectively, as a unit, they're losers. It's a loser mentality. And sure, some players are going to stay, some players are going to go. The pushback that I've had the whole time is that player retention is necessary. In my opinion, getting the right head coach that will be Auburn's head coach in 10 years is necessary. Players that have a couple more years of eligibility staying on the team and that being this sole focus, I don't understand that, because these guys as a unit, they don't win, Ike. What am I missing here?
Yeah, so what you just said right then is not what you said that I disagreed with, right? And so let's go back to where my disagreement was. Well, let me start with my agreement. You're right. I 100% don't think the focus should be player retention. It should be resetting the culture and getting the right head coach. I've said as much from the very beginning. You let the head coach hire who they need to hire, and the players who are on board with his philosophy and the mentality that he wants to instill and the culture that he wants to put in place will remain. And then if they don't, then you get some other people in there. I've been very adamant with that very thing. That's not, however, where my disagreement was with you. It's not about the idea that the culture needs a reset. And I think I said as much, right? Where my point of contention or disagreement was with the statement that you made on Twitter was you began your statement by agreeing with Jake Crane, right? And this is not I don't like Jay. I have no problem with Jake Crane. So, but what he said was get rid of everybody, not whoever wants to stay with the new coach. He said get rid of all of them. So when you begin your point with saying, I agree with Jake, I immediately am off of whatever comes next, which was blow it all up, which is what you said. And then they've been poisoned, right? And so that is the portion in which, and like I said, what I said on Twitter was, I disagree with how this is being stated. The idea, sure, I'm in agreement with. The statement is what I disagree with, because it begins with a point in which I disagree with fundamentally, which is where Jake was at the beginning, right? So how you just laid that out, I'm with that. But that's not what was said. And so that's what I disagreed with.
Yeah, so where I agreed, what I was trying to get across when I say I agree with Jake, and going back to that video that a lot of people had a problem with that Jake posted a couple weeks ago, the portion of it that I agree with him with, the point that I was making, and I don't pay for X premium, so you only have so many characters. And I probably should just keep some of the opinion stuff off of X and use the platform of the show to state some of those things. My whole agreement with Jake was on the culture is poisoned, that this current group of players, this current Auburn program, this current build just doesn't know how to win. And the best, I don't think that I would disagree with everybody has to go, right? I don't think everybody has to go, but I don't care who goes because this team doesn't win. And it's my belief that if a new head coach, if the new head coach is named and he's the right head coach, especially in today's day and age in college football, you can just go get other guys and bring them in. Like, you can turn it around really quickly. We're seeing that at A&M. I do not believe, to be clear, that everybody has to go. But if a lot of people do go, I'm not gonna cry over it, because ultimately, although I think these are a lot of good players, together at Auburn, and it's not their fault as individuals, but it's been broken. And to the point of where, like, they've lost so many close games in devastating fashion. There just needs to be a heavy culture reset, in my opinion, a heavy one. And if it's blowing it up, then blow it up. That's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, and again, like I said, that premise is not something that I disagree with. So, my clarity on that was, if you begin your statement with a point of agreement with something that I disagree with, everything that you attach then to that agreement becomes something I can't agree with, right? Because it seems to amplify that initial point. So, like, I think you could have made that point without saying I agree with Jake, because his premise that you're now building a foundation of a point on is something I agree with. So I can't then subsequently separate your idea from the one that you built your premise on. There's no way for me to do that. Like, I can't say, and I agree with you, Twitter is not a space for nuance, but you had space to say, I don't agree with him in totality, but where I do agree with him is, you didn't say that, right? And so, again, how you're phrasing it today is different than the disagreement that I had with the phrasing yesterday, where we agree 1000%. And I have said as much, is you give the new coach the ability to come in and reset the culture in the way in which they see fit, and players have to buy into that, or otherwise it doesn't really matter. You don't mortgage the future of your program to appease players who won't be a part of that future. You can't do that. Those players have a finite amount of time that they're going to be able to play in an Auburn uniform. So if you are trying to hire a head coach that you hope is there for the next decade, you can't make that decision based upon players who will only be there at most the next 2 years. I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hear you. I guess I should just be a little more clear in the post then about exactly what portions of the statement that I agreed with. So yeah, just only so many characters on X, and usually I don't. Usually I try to keep like those heavy kind of opinions like that require a lot of nuance out of a short character space. So, but yeah, I hear you, Ike. But yeah, that's just kind of where I stand on it, buddy. I think in the end, we kind of all agree that it's just time for Auburn to get back to winning football games, man. And all these side discussions about the details of it, I'm over it, man. I want Auburn to get back to winning football games, and whatever they got to do to make that a reality, John Cohen and the people in charge, they got to do that, and they got to do it now, because this fan base deserves better. So that's just where I'm at with it.
Yeah, like I said, we're definitely in the same boat when it comes to that. I think, again, and I'll come back and echo things that I agree with. It does suck regardless of how they lose. Now, Nick, I'll agree with you on this. I don't think all close losses feel the same, are the same, right? So there is a difference to me than 10-3 versus Kentucky and 27-20 versus Alabama, in the way that it feels about how you think that those players have responded to the way in which they were prepared. Now, we have a very separate conversation, and I said this in our post game about two things. I only mentioned one of them, about whether or not Derek Nix is a capable offensive coordinator, because I don't think that his game plan was particularly great to begin this game, and he took too long to pivot off of it. And he did pivot off of it. There was a very different way in which they started to attack that Alabama defense after about the third drive.
It was.
And this idea that for whatever reason, every time the offense does happen to show up and get you something, the defense immediately crumbles every single time, right? And so this is where I am in agreement of fundamentally this team doesn't know how to win, because if they did, you tied that game up, then you go and get another stop, and then you go and get another score and you win. Now, I don't even want to enter into the referee conversation, because that's kind of part of the idea that you don't have the ability to overcome anything, right? Like the smallest pebble in your path and you're tripping over yourself. You've got to find a way to, like, fourth down, fourth and goal at the end of that game, get the stop. And we're having a completely different conversation.
So this is the fun thing about being live right now, Ike. You're driving, correct?
Yep.
So a lot of people are now putting in the chat that Silverfield has been hired by Arkansas, and that noise about Alex Golesh to Auburn is soaring. Have you heard anything on that?
I'm driving and talking to you. I haven't even been trying, and I've been on the road for about an hour and a half now. And I actually tweeted this while I was driving. This whole, I want to see the same uproar and outrage that people have with players entering the transfer portal or committing to a school and then subsequently flipping their commitment and signing somewhere else with what's happening right now during this coaching search. How many coaches have we heard of? Summerall, Golesh, Eric Morris, the list goes on. Lane Kiffin have agreed to something in principle, committed, and then ultimately signed somewhere else. That has happened multiple times in just this coaching cycle. And why aren't people out here like, these coaches have a problem with commitment? See, the culture of no commitment starts at the top. The head coaches have set this culture for decades. And you're expecting 18-year-old, 17-year-old players to not follow along with a culture that says, I don't need to commit anywhere. I'm just going to hop to whatever the next opportunity is for myself. Mike G talked about this on his show with what's the coach right now at UCF?
Scott Frost.
He said that Scott Frost said this in a presser. He was like, when you're climbing the ladder to success, stop when you become happy, right? Which was, I regret leaving UCF the first time. I should have just stuck with my commitments to begin with. The culture that exists right now in collegiate sports is about me. And it starts with the coaches. And all of these coaches are self-serving as you know what. They just are. They have zero commitment to anything except for their own success. And I'm not necessarily upset at someone taking bigger opportunities for themselves. I'm upset with people expecting young men who see that as an example and say to themselves, you're the problem with college. No, they're not. Agreed. These agents, these coaches, and these administrations are the problem. And they have been the problem forever. The Florida administration screwed up that Florida coaching search. They did. They flat out screwed it up. There's no reason Florida should be in a bidding war with Auburn to begin with. You screwed that up. LSU's administration screwed up the LSU coaching search. That's not a problem with 17, 18-year-old players. That problem starts way before those young men even strap on a uniform. It's ridiculous.
I'm not just I'm with you, bud. I definitely agree with you on that. And the point that I want to bring up here, I'm not just an Auburn fan trying to troll Bama when I use this example. Full credit to Alabama. Won that football game. Clearly a better program right now than Auburn. This is not what that is. But to your point, I remember when the audio leaked of DeBoer's meeting with Washington when he made the decision to go to Alabama. And he said, I hope you guys stay here and finish what we started. And I thought that was hilarious, seeing how he was the guy in charge and he wasn't going to stay to finish what he started. So yeah, I'm 100% with you on that part, man. I think the calendar for the sport definitely has to be readjusted. There's no other sport where the calendar is just so off, where a team like Ole Miss is at 11-1 in the SEC, and they have this whole situation. If Lane is going to leave Ole Miss, cool, but that's his decision to make. But I think the structure of the sport and the calendar should be set up to where it's at the end of the season and we're not dealing with this on rivalry weekend. Wouldn't it be fun if the last weekend of college football was all about the rivals? And I mean, the coaching carousel has been kind of fun and entertaining, I guess, but the calendar, in my opinion, is off. And I know like Kirby Smart and a lot of people that are high up in the college football world have spoke on that. It's definitely led to this mess, but I think you're preaching right there when you talk about that. It's hard for the people that are supposed to be in charge of these young men to say one thing and want one thing and then do another thing themselves. It seems very hypocritical.
Yeah, I mean, you can't preach to a recruit about coming in and changing the culture and blah, blah, blah. And then a year later, you're out the door. Like it's insanity. It's absolute insanity. And again, I'm not saying I have been probably the biggest advocate for players having the ability to move on from situations that aren't beneficial for them, and having options to not have to stick around. But like, the reason why I've been so adamant about that is because you allow coaches to do this. You allow coaches to do exactly what they're doing right now. Coach a team to a playoff spot and then bounce on them. And then ask, can I keep coaching here through my transition? No, you can't. Get the what?
And they're arch rivals, Ike. Ole Miss and LSU are arch rivals.
Bro, you're telling me
you want
to get married to me, divorce me, date my best friend, and then ask me, can you still stay in the house? What? Are you crazy? If you don't get out my house.
This is wild. I mean, it's so much stuff that's being reported right now. It's crazy, bro.
This stuff with Golesh seems to be really heating up according to the chat. So
yeah.
It looks that way.
Silverfield is to Arkansas. Yeah, that is confirmed.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
Right.
It's gonna be a wild day.
I'm gonna let y'all continue y'all show, man. Again, I promised you last night I would hop on if I could, so I'm gonna let y'all continue y'all's conversation, and I'm gonna try to get down this road, and hopefully I'll be home in time to hop on our show later on today.
All right, well, safe travels, buddy. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate everything you do.
All right, peace.
All right, later, buddy. All right, that's our guy Ike Jones stopping by to continue this discussion of culture at Auburn football. Man, wouldn't it be fun if we could just talk about wins and who Auburn was getting ready to play in a bowl game or maybe a playoff run right now? Let's get to, man, golly, we're live. Things are popping off. Man. Hey, losing isn't fun, but I got to tell you, like, I'm entertained. This whole coaching carousel is entertaining. And I don't want to be entertained again by it for like 10, 15 years, okay? I want the next guy, whoever it is, to be the guy. I don't want to be back here. But my goodness, I can't say that I'm bored. The weakest link says, are we really about to hire another coach with a losing record? This feels like another Chizik, except without Cam Newton. I don't know who we're about to hire, buddy.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know. I
don't either, man. But everybody feels like it may be Golesh.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Reeves Uppercut says, I remember preseason we talked about how manageable Auburn's schedule was, and all of these teams had 10-win seasons.
Yep.
Yeah. I was right about some teams in my predicted order of finish at SEC Media Days. I was wrong about some teams. I was wrong about the Vanderbilt Commodores. I will stand in the paint and say Clark Lee, Diego Pavia, all of y'all, you can dunk on me because
I think we got breaking news.
Do we?
I think we do. Let me just make sure. I'm just gonna confirm it real quick.
Yeah, I got you.
Before I say it.
Keep going through the comments here. In about an hour, we will hear that the future we're looking at more of the same. Congrats, everyone. Well, we'll see now, buddy. Some of these comments that I have starred or might become relevant.
We have breaking news. On3 is reporting that Auburn is hiring Alex Golesh as his next head coach. Just had to confirm it. I just had to confirm it real quick.
Wow.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. This, wow. This is
Nick, I wasn't prepared to talk about this.
I was not either. I was not prepared to talk about this either. Offensive guy. I guess we're going the offensive route again. Man.
That has to mean you're keeping DJ, right?
It has to mean that you're keeping DJ Durkin. That's what this has to mean. If you're going the offensive route, that means Derek Nix is no longer probably there.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see what he does with Marcus Davis. It'll be interesting to see what hopefully Jake Thorne and Ben Argamaro. How you say his name? Is it Argamaro? Is that how you say his last name?
I hope it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Are they retained? Yeah, Pete Nakos is reporting Alex Golesh to Auburn, man. This is low key. I'm not gonna say out of left field, but it is a little surprising.
Yeah,
it is a little bit surprising.
You kind of saw it. His name popped up. I mean, we talked about it earlier in the show, right? Like Pete Thamel was kind of the first one. I'm trying to kind of edit the title of the show here, Nick. I felt like early in the process, whenever we heard that Cohen had interviewed like 10 to 12 guys, I assumed that he was one of those. That he was one of those guys, right? But I didn't know that he was that far up the pecking order in terms of game plan, and so it'll be very interesting to hear how all this went down.
Wow.
Hear how the process went down. Obviously, we're going to have a press conference. I was just off the top of my head tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, Tuesday at the latest.
Yeah. It came out. I think Golesh name came out Thursday or Friday night is when it started
circulating kind of later in the week that he was one Thursday, of the fallback plans. Whenever the Summerall stuff,
when the Summerall stuff
started going south.
Yeah, Golesh name. I first started seeing Golesh name around Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. And that's right around the time when the pivot happened from Summerall. Summerall is gonna make his decision Sunday morning about where he's gonna go, whether he stay at Tulane or whether it be Florida or Auburn. And right at that moment, literally within like 30 minutes, you started hearing Alex Golesh's name pop out. Man, this is interesting. Auburn's going the offensive route, man. I guess Auburn is looking at it as if, hey, man, we got to get this offense going. If we can keep Durkin in the boat and just keep him as the guy that's over the defense, man, I have a lot of schematically, man. This is going to be very, very exciting for Auburn, man. Schematically on the offensive side of the ball, you should, if you love. Just off the top of my head, just from watching USF and just knowing what Alex Golesh is, it's going to be very exciting. If you are interested in player retention and you're interested in wanting Cam Coleman to come back and wanting Malcolm Simmons to come back and potentially seeing those type of guys, you're going to be pleased. You should, but let's say that with caution because we said the same thing about Hugh Freeze as well. Let's just be real. But the bigger question is Power 5 guy. Auburn's hiring another Power 5 guy to come in and be the head coach who hasn't
Group of 5.
Group of 5 guy who hasn't been head coach in the Power 5 before, but has worked at Power 5 programs. So, I'm interested to see how you feel about that, Dustin. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, what, it being a Group of 4 guy?
Yeah, being a Group of 5 guy. How do you feel?
I'm not against it. I'm not against it. First off, I think everybody kind of knows I'm a big Tampa sports fan. So
Yep.
I watch USF. So,
Mhm.
I know a little bit more about this one than I would a lot of these other hires.
Yep.
I still have, it's not like I watch every USF game, so I still have a lot of like research to do before I kind of come on here and start giving hard, firm opinions. But I said this all along, Nick. When it was just I'll take whatever I said about Sumrall and just translate it to what I said to what I'll say about Golesh right now. Let's just swap those guys out. Question marks. There's pros and there's cons. And at the end of the day,
yeah,
every GOAT, every great needed his first big shot.
Agree.
And also, there are Billy Napiers of the world. You just don't know. You just don't know. It looks like now we can assume that Sumrall is probably going to end up at Florida. Yeah. And that's going to be fascinating because that fan base is literally trying to pull a stop Steele. They're literally trying to pull a stop Schiano like Tennessee did. And I give those two examples because they worked. We know firsthand.
They did.
If you get loud enough,
they did.
It'll work.
Yes, exactly.
What? Oh, Nick, could you see Sumrall going to Ole Miss and all of this now?
See, this is the thing. See, this is the monkey wrench that you're throwing into the conversation here. Which program are you looking at? If you're John Sumrall, which program are you looking at and saying I can go win at right now? Could I go win at Florida right now, or could I go win at at Ole Miss? Now, if you believe the noise, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of what's being said about Ole Miss. Apparently, it's getting messy behind the scenes. If you read the Ole Miss everything, if you just listen to people from Ole Miss, a lot of people saying, he wanted to play. He wants to finish coaching out. And while doing it, he wants to be able to start picking guys off the roster that he wants to bring with him to LSU. It has gotten messy behind the scenes at Ole Miss to where shouting matches have been going on between ADs and former head coach. I don't even know if you call him a former head coach there or not, because technically he's still there. It's a lot that has been going on. Will that Ole Miss roster be the same roster that if a John Sumrall walked into would be able to come in next year and be able to do something with? Because the thing about John Sumrall is, like, what people have to realize about John Sumrall has never walked into a situation where he had to build a program. Every program he's walked into as a head coach has already been established by somebody else. He's just walked in and just carried on what was going on. Did it at Troy. At Troy, he was in the conference championship 2 years in a row. He walked into it at Tulane. And he's about to be in a conference championship again at Tulane. This may be the first time he has to walk into a program and actually build it up from the ground up and see exactly how that looks as a head coach. It's gonna be different. Alex Golesh, I don't know. I think the name Alex Golesh on the offensive side of the ball would be like, I don't.
They're really explosive.
It is. Is if player retention is your main goal, which from every account when it comes from Auburn is what it seems like, this should be exciting enough for a lot of guys on Auburn's offense to be like, I can give this opportunity a chance to see what happens. Because I'm telling you, man, Alex Golesh is going to do, man.
We're just thinking off the top of my head here going through this. We've heard Buster Faulkner. We've heard Buster Faulkner's name, whether it be DJ was going to be the coach, whether it was Sumrall is going to be the coach. That makes me think somebody at Auburn feels good about Buster Faulkner. Do you get Alex Golesh and then bring in Buster Faulkner? Or did they kind of say, hey, trying to dictate coordinators has hurt us on the guy that we originally had circled, maybe? Whoever you want, Alex Golesh. Like, this is going to be really fascinating to see how this all plays out. Not a guy that I talked about hardly at all. And here it goes. And that's why throughout the whole process, Nick, we all said, you never know. You just never know how it's going to play out. And one thing if this ever comes up again, and it will at some point, but hopefully it's a long time for Auburn fans. Hopefully Golesh is the guy. If it comes up again, then whoever is the main candidate, the lead candidate from the jump, I might not even talk about him.
It's wild, bro.
You know?
It's wild.
Yeah, man, oh man. So
Wow.
Tim the Toolman Taylor says, at least I can count on Dustin to not do the moral victory thing. I promise you, bud. I
Shout out to
promise
Tim.
you.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Tim.
yeah, dude. And again, you know, the profile pic gets me every time.
Mooney, baby.
Gets me every time. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the character that he plays in that bit, but
No, we can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it.
I know. Man, good stuff right there. Good stuff, Tim. Yeah, listen. I'll never do it, bud. I'll never do it. Rodney says, hit that like button. 204 watching, only 28 so far. Yeah, man. Smash that thumbs up button. We got a great crowd rolling in here. My guy Rodney from Bruton, Alabama. Rodney, I've been working in Bruton all week, buddy, and I gotta say, tell the citizens of your town, and again, a town that I was born in, to hit that gas pedal, baby. It's 45. It's 45. It ain't 25. But what's up, buddy? With the 19.99 super chat, Rodney, I see you sharing the podcast out on every social media platform you got, man. I really appreciate your support of the show, buddy. Shout out to you. Let me know in the comments how you feeling about Alex Golesh.
Black Magic Racing. Shout out to my guy.
Yes, sir. G. Hargrove, my guy. What's up, buddy? He says, like you said, Dustin, losers find a way to lose. Unfortunately, that's the case, but let's, maybe Alex Golesh is the guy that's going to change that. Maybe Alex Golesh is the guy that's going to turn that around. Very interesting hire. And I will be the staff. Like, if it's going to be DJ Durkin, wouldn't they announce that really soon?
Yeah, you have to.
Maybe they're having the team meeting at 10, right? They would probably say in the team meeting, hey, it's Alex Golesh.
Yeah.
This timing would line up too, right? It leaks right here, right before 10 o'clock.
Yep.
And then they go into the team meeting and say, hey, and we're keeping DJ. I hope that's how this plays out, man. I really do.
I hope so too. I'm interested to see how he builds out this offensive staff, or if he brings Cody Burns with him. Because Cody Burns, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Cody Burns is the associate head coach down there at USF with him.
Okay.
I think he is, if I'm not mistaken.
Interesting.
It'd be interesting to see if Cody Burns comes back with them from USF. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Does that quarterback have any more eligibility?
That's what I'm trying to figure out now.
Yeah,
Why you talking?
Let us know in the chat. What's up with Brown, bro?
That's what I was trying to figure out now. What you talking? I was just like, let me check this out and see.
What's up with Brown?
Let me see if he does. Yeah, Cody Burns is the co-offensive coordinator, assistant head coach, and wide receivers coach. Yeah, wow. So I'll be curious to know if he brings him back to Auburn with him. Man, is this the first time you ever had breaking news like this on the live show?
Anything this big for sure.
Yeah, this is wild.
For sure.
This is it.
9-time champion with the $2 super chat. Thank you, my guy. And yes, 9-time champions, baby. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever let nobody tell you any different. New coach X, another jumbotron. Check, check, check. You can never have too many jumbotrons. 9-time champion, and they can never be too big. Got to have something to hang your hat on, man. Hopefully times will change. I can tell y'all right now, I'm not going to come up here and I'm not going to pound the table and say Alex Golesh will work out. And I'm not going to come up here and say this is a terrible hire.
Oh, man. He got 1 year eligibility left. Bite him Brown, baby.
And have a real QB competition. Come on now.
Has 1 year of eligibility left. We're just saying. We don't know if he's going to hit the transfer portal or not.
Yeah.
But he has 1 year of eligibility. That's all we can say.
Bring him in for 1 more year. You let Deuce QB2 for a year. Come on now. Then you hand it to Deuce as a redshirt sophomore. Come on now. Talk to me now. There's a part of me, and this is a $10 super chat from Alan Berry 158. Appreciate you, big dog. Thank you for the super chat, my guy. There's a part of me that understands why people picked Auburn at home, Alabama, recent struggles, etc. But at the end of the day, it's still Auburn. No offense. What did people expect? I expected a close loss, and that's what we got. So, but it's one of them things where everybody knows that Auburn is more talented than their record. So every week people look at the roster and they're like, Like if it was a video game, you're looking at a team that's like a 92 overall rating, and you're like, okay, this should be a tough game. Like,
agree.
you know, so that's kind of that's where that comes from. And then, you know, the feeling in that stadium when that ball kicked off last night was just give us something.
Mm-hmm.
Just give us something. And I'm telling you, man, I've been to who knows how many Auburn games, and I've seen a lot of big wins, and unfortunately lately I've been at some big losses. And the emotion that I felt in that stadium last night, the things that grown men were screaming, this fan base is starved. This fan base is starved. So I think people knew that and knew the Auburn fans were going to show up and do their thing and create a raucous atmosphere. And you saw at times Alabama struggling with crowd noise, especially there in the first half.
Yep.
So that's kind of why people expected a close game. As far as anybody picking Auburn to win, you know, I never wavered off of thinking Auburn was going to lose close. I did have this intrusive thought that popped its way in there midway through the fourth, and it said, "Is Alabama really going to pull 3 in a row out their ass at Jordan-Hare Stadium?" And so I did like look sideways, and I was like, and then they did. So
I just want to put this for reference right here. USF is in the American Conference, is where USF is.
Yeah.
For record, they have the number 2 offense in the American. Actually better than Tulane's offense in the American. Averaging 500 yards per game. They're averaging roughly about 275 yards passing, 225 yards rushing is what they're averaging per game. 43 points per game is what they're averaging. 43 points per game on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, you're looking at a USF team that is right behind Tulane. There's about 3 spots behind Tulane defensively. They're giving up about 386 yards per game. They're giving up 252 through the air, 134 on the ground. They're giving up 134 yards rushing, and right at about 23 points per game is what they're giving up this 2025 season. So that just gives you an idea of what you potentially could be at Auburn next year, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, because I think we're all sitting here, you know, as you stated earlier, you know, with the team meeting, you know, is this Durkin's the DC for next season? Is that something that's going to be announced as well? Do you already have your head coach and then Durkin as the DC for next year? So if that happens, you know, he just focused on defense. I think the defense looks fine. I think we'll be okay. But yeah, I mean, this is breaking news, man. Breaking news.
A lot of a mixed bag in the chat, which you can be expected when you hire an unproven an unproven head coach.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you know, think he's a good coach. He's an up and comer. A lot of people don't feel that way. And I understand that. And that's, you know, again, that's why I'm going to kind of sit in the middle and give him a chance. We'll definitely do more research. I do remember there was a game, and I did speak on this at one point when somebody asked me about Golesh earlier, and when the process first started. This was like way back, maybe the day at the episode when Hugh got fired. Maybe someone asked me about Golesh, and they had a pretty colossal collapse in the fourth quarter versus Memphis. I want to say like right there, the weekend I was asked that question, and I was like, that wasn't a good look. Because there was some time management issues and stuff like that. So, but I got to go back and rewatch all that, and before I really kind of, well, we got all summer to talk about this.
We do.
We got
content for days.
Yeah, we're gonna have content for days. We're gonna have a lot. So, that being the case, never a better time, and we will get back to your comments and super chats here in just a moment. But hey, sign up for the memberships, guys. $3.99 a month will get you into the JV squad. $5.99 a month will get you into the varsity squad. We do 3 to 4 episodes a week for the public, but if that's not enough and you just want more up-tempo content, this is the way to go. Sign up right now for the up-tempo memberships. Also, guys, we're not backed by ESPN or CBS or anything like that. Very small operation here. So it takes you guys' support to kind of keep the lights on, keep the content going. And the memberships have grown tremendously, even throughout another 5-7 losing season. The memberships are going up every single week. So thank you guys so much for signing up for those. Thank you so much for gifting those out and continuing to grow our community. So we got a couple more of these comments that we need to get to, and then I guess we gotta get out of here and do some phone calls and get some other content together and a lot of stuff to learn. C-Mac says, I am with you on this one, Ike. Only this one, though. Going back to our previous discussion with Ike Jones, shout out to Ike for popping on the show there. And the one that you're saying you're with him on is the head coaches doing the same thing that the players do in terms of transfer portal, and then the hypocrisy that kind of comes along with the way those things are discussed. I think we're all kind of agreement in that one. I didn't just really see any pushback in the chat from that one either. I know me and Nick definitely agreed with it. Let's see. So some of these are old. Some of these, all right. Yeah, talking about a flight landing in Lakeland and that flight watch, baby.
Shout out to 9 Time.
That flight watch now.
I'm telling you, man. There was also a flight tracker coming from New Orleans as well. And people were trying to figure out, well, who was on the New Orleans flight? Right. Oh man, but shout out to 9 Time, man.
Oh, listen, our boy ain't with it. Tapping out. Just call me fire. He ain't with it, Nick. No.
I cannot wait for the new name, bro. I cannot wait for the new name. So is it okay? So Auburn Thaw, aka Fired Freeze. Which one is it gonna be? I need to know so I can start calling you. I need to know. Auburn Thaw. I need to know.
Give him a chance, bro. Give him a chance.
I gotta know. I have to know.
You're my guy. Brother. Thank you, man. Member for 15 months. One of the biggest supporters of the show. Love you, bud. Appreciate all that you do for us, for real, man. That's good stuff right there. James says, I love his offense. This kind of excites me.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, if he can bring that, and then if you can get DJ back in his DC role, I'm kind of see a little bit of a return to form there. Awesome, man. Awesome. I can get on board. Again, still got a whole lot of research to do. This hasn't been a guy that I've spent a whole lot of time thinking about, being a possibility. Sam says, I like Golesh more than Sumrall. Okay.
This is a
huge. So it's so fascinating. If you go back and look at previous coaching carousels about who was mad about how they lost and what, and then how those narratives are usually flipped on their head, because no one really knows. Man, what a crazy 24 hours. And we still got to find out. I mean, Lane's going to LSU, right? But we still got to find out how that all plays out, how the details of that work out are pretty important. And the situation at Florida, look, the AD doesn't have to do what the fans want there. But if they trot out Sumrall with how hard that backlash has been, I'm not saying you can't do it, because I guess they're going to do it. But damn. Oda says, I love Coleman to life. However, he sold his, listen, it was frustrating, man. And Cam's a great player. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. And I know that nobody is hurting more than Cam Coleman right now. You never know for sure. Nick, what do you think about this? I don't know. Right? Cam Coleman very well might transfer.
Yep, very well.
But is he going to go out with that being his last play as an Auburn Tiger?
This is where
that you know what I'm saying, man. I don't know, because he loves Auburn. If he leaves Auburn, it's not because he hates Auburn. It's because he's making a business decision. Phoenix is a kid from Phoenix City. His last play going to be a fumble that may have cost Auburn the Iron Bowl.
That's tough.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That's tough. That's tough right there. That's tough.
Because that's why I'm not listening, man. I'm just not gonna be that guy to go in on him today. He can't fumble the ball there. We know that. He knows
tough.
that.
That is tough.
Yeah. Just announced it's him. Yeah, man. Another $2 super chat from my guy Oda. When we started this live, I did not think that was going to be where this discussion went. And then just like that, boom, Silverfield to Memphis. And then literally, man, crazy stuff.
It's so funny because early in the week, Alex Golesh, Arkansas thought they had Alex Golesh.
Mm-hmm.
They thought they had him. Like everybody was saying, this is a done deal. We're just waiting on everything to be signed. Alex Golesh is going to be the guy. Then in the middle of the week, he pops up on Auburn's radar, and now Ryan Silverfield is the head coach. Is the next head coach at Arkansas, and Alex Golesh is at Auburn. Wow, bro. Wow. This is it. Adam Schefter is reporting right now that Florida is finalizing a 6-year deal to make John Summerall its next head coach, averaging at least $7.5 million a year.
Well, Auburn fans, John Summerall will bring his Florida Gators into Jordan-Hare Stadium next year to take on Alex Golesh, Auburn's Tigers. There you have it.
Pete Thamel and Adam Schefter are both reporting that. That's wow. Hey, G5. This when we look back on this, we're gonna look at. Are we looking at the next group of G5 coaches who are going to be the next great coaches in the Power 4 level? Depending on how you feel about certain ones in this class, is this the year, this offseason, that we're going to be looking at we're talking Ryan Silverfield, we're talking Eric Morris at North Texas, we're talking John Summerall, and now Alex Golesh. That's four group of 5 coaches that have taken the jump to the Power 4 rankings as head coaches. Over under, how many of them do you think succeed?
What's the number again?
4.
Who are the guys?
Eric Morris, formerly North Texas offensive coordinator, not at Oklahoma State. Alex Golesh at Auburn. John Summerall, Tulane, now at Florida. And Ryan Silverfield from Memphis, now at Arkansas.
Give me 2, and I don't know which 2. Just seems like kind of a good percentage to land with on that.
50%. Yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying.
Push.
I get what you're saying. Push. 50% is what it is. I like it. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll go with 50 because I mean, like, those are all guys that are doing a good job at their current spot. So, again, sometimes every big hire, every great coach moved up. Mm-hmm. Auburn hired Pat Dye from where? Eastern Carolina, correct?
Excuse me.
Or is ECU some big football power?
No.
So, PRG says, Dustin, the coaching staff is not complete, my guy. We are handicapped doing the best we can under the circumstances. Yeah, I'm not saying that the staff is complete. If I misspoke and said that, my apologies. But yeah, the staff definitely has to be they got a lot of work to do. Pew4AU says, while this is on my mind, Dustin, go Bolts. My girls from Tampa and got me on the hottest team in the NHL, brother. It's been weeks. It's been weeks since the Tampa Bay Lightning have lost. Love that. Welcome to the Thunder, my guy. Glad to have you. Deuce gonna eat under Golesh. See, Brett's excited. Look at my guy, Brett. Okay, Brett, talk to me, buddy. Last night, Brett was down. Okay. Last night I took an L, but tonight I bounced back. Says my guy, Brett. I love it. Brett, I can honestly tell you, maybe my favorite thing to come out of this live is seeing you excited, bud. This is a real Auburn fan right here that just wants to see his boys win. Teresa, I hope you got the message in the group chat. If you did not, I went to ban a Gump troll at the start of the show. Your comment was above it, and I accidentally put you in timeout for a couple minutes. So if you didn't read that in the group chat, that was a complete accident. I hit the wrong person. As soon as I saw it pop up in the chat that you were in timeout, I was like, oh no. And luckily I didn't hit the ban button or I would have really messed up. So my apologies, Teresa. I love you. Teresa says, best kept secret this decade. I sure wish it was DJ after Summerall was. I was sure it was DJ after Summerall. I mean, yeah, we all did.
We all thought it was Durkin.
We all
thought it was gonna be Durkin.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that's what the reports were. That's what. And it just goes to show you, and it's why I got really tired of putting disclaimers on every discussion we had about head coach and saying it could change. You never know, but that's why you do it. Because I think we can all agree this cycle has been absolutely insane. And it should have been, because LSU came open and Florida came open and Auburn came open and Penn State's still up there. Like, it should have been crazy. Those are massive jobs that are very rarely all up at the same time. Rodney says, will you be in Bruton this week? I'll buy you lunch and catch up. Obviously, Rodney, I can't put personal information out on this show, but I know you have my dad on Facebook. Message my dad and he can get you my contact info. Old man Shredder says 2 in a row at Jordan Hare Stadium, game ending 4th down for the game, and we rushed 3. Ooh, brutal. Bring the house, says our friend Nick.
Yeah, man. Yeah, gotta find a way to get some pressure, man. Hopefully,
I didn't get Mike Heldrick fault big play, buddy.
No, we didn't get that. And that's shout out to Ed Darby, Mr. 21. Where 15 at sometime? Where does 15 at? Where is 15 in the moment when you need him to make a big play? Where is he?
It's a valid question. It's a valid question that deserves to be asked. Now that the season is complete, I feel I'm have no problem saying disappointed in the production from Keldrick Falk this year. Not from a leadership standpoint, not as a human or anything like that, but football, disappointed in the production. I expect more than 2 sacks, my guy.
Yeah.
Brutal stuff. Yeah. We needed more. USF, because Crawford had a great year. And it's like, boy, if you would have done what you were supposed to do, what would that have looked like? G. Hargrove says USF was 1-11 before Golesh took over. It tells you all you need to know. War damn Eagle. Okay. 1-11. Look at him now. He's got that thing turned around. John just signed a 6-year contract with Florida. Yeah. Brett says love that he's a fellow Ginger.
Oh, man.
Devin says, is Keldrick out of eligibility or would he come back? I mean, I think all signs point to him going pro. Yeah. I would have a hard time believing his stock didn't drop a little bit. Am I off on that, Nick?
No, I mean, yeah, if you're looking at the production wise, but when you look at his sophomore season, he had a hell of a sophomore season. What he had, 60 plus tackles, almost 8 sacks in the sophomore season. To follow it up with a junior campaign of this, I mean, that's 60 to 20 is a big drop off, but I still think his measurables are enough to where if he goes to the combine and he performs well there, I think he'll be right back in that top 20, top 25 first round definitely conversation he's gonna be in for the NFL. His measurables just hop off the charts for NFL teams. They're gonna look at it and be like, as long as he hits within this range in these categories, he'll still get drafted.
He'll probably crush the combine, the pro day, and like that whole kind of process.
He'll look good. T-shirt automatic.
Yeah, and he has had production in college.
Yeah.
It's not like you never saw it. It's just you didn't see it this year when it was supposed to be the big year.
Yeah.
Brett saying that he participated in senior day, talking about Keldrick. Yeah.
So. I mean, he and with NIL, he could come back for a senior year and be like, you know what? I just want to prove it a little bit more. He may look at this and be like, there are a lot of guys in this class that a lot of ends and edge rushers in this class that, I mean, because you definitely got Cassius Howell, you definitely got Anthony Hill, Dylan Stewart, guys that's coming out. And not to mention, you got other guys in other conferences as well. He could look at it and be like, okay, maybe I can come back and prove myself again next year, and just up my draft stock a little bit more. He could do that. But that's just a premium position in the NFL. An edge rusher is just a premium position that a lot of teams are going to always want to go get. So, I mean, even if he decides to leave this year, I think he's still a first round guy. But if he does decide to stay and he comes back and crushes it again next year, and crushes it, like really like hone in on it and try to have one of those seasons that he had his sophomore year, easily he'll be in the top 10 draft pick in the 27th draft if he does that.
Hey, Keldrick, do what Derek Brown did, buddy. Go that. It worked for him. Go that Derek Brown route.
He did.
Let's see. Got a couple more of these comments, and then we're going to get out of here. But when the super chats are still flying in, I got to stay live, baby. Old man says, I'm neutral on Golesh. I just don't know enough about him, but this just feels like Cohen is that guy at the bar at 2 a.m. just grabbing the last junk girl available. Auburn should not be that guy. Yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear how this whole process. Well, I'm interested to hear what the public story is.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in hearing.
And then what the truth is for
what
real.
the actual truth is. Yeah, what do you go tell the public? But then behind the scenes, what?
This was it. This was our guy the whole time. We told you we were going to name him Sunday. Anything else out there was not true. Yeah, so, you never know. And then we'll all say, "You're lying."
Exactly.
Yeah. So look, I see my guy Marshall in the chat. I'm trying to read your comment up, Marshall Jones. But he's talking about how Jake Crane had posted that DJ Durkin was going to be the guy last night. Look, Jake Crane's plugged in, guys. Jake's talking to real sources. Jake knows real people. If he posted that, he didn't get it from a burner account or some guy on the street. He talked to somebody high up there. I promise y'all, Jake's locked in. That just tells you how crazy these searches are. And what if it was DJ Durkin last night? What if it was DJ Durkin when I went to bed at 3:00 in the morning, and then and then something? I was tired before this show started. I'm no longer tired, but
the energy.
Yeah, definitely shot back up. So, but yeah, man, I don't think Jake deserves any flack for that, is what I'm saying. Because again, I can assure you, I've talked to people who are locked in as well, and it just, P-Pass said Golesh beat Florida. Just a reminder, for sure. That was a nice win for USF. Ooh, Teresa says if Jake's that plugged in and Auburn switched it up, yeah, it maybe it did switch, or maybe like you just really you have no idea. I'm just saying that like Jake wouldn't post that without solid intel. So he's definitely locked in when it comes to that kind of stuff. All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. I guess we got a lot to talk about this week. So I'm sure we had a lot of new listeners in here today. Go ahead and subscribe right now to the channel. Smash that thumbs up button, Nick. So we started this, and when we hit live, we were going to talk about the Iron Bowl, which we did get some Iron Bowl talk in. And then we ended up talking about coaches and their lack of loyalty and how that translates to today's game in the transfer portal. And then we ended up with Alex Golesh being hired. So we kind of went all over the place today, my guy, but
yes,
it was a lot of fun to do. And so just as we wrap all this up, if you're even capable of putting together some final thoughts right now, what you got for us?
Yeah, like I said, I thought that I was gonna be able to have a coherent response to this, but now the more I think about it, the more I have to sit down with my thoughts and actually arrange them out and give you a very coherent, sequential response. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting. I tell you this much: it's a lot of content to talk about. Of course, new head coach coming in, what the staff looks like. Is DJ Durkin staying? Transfer portal is coming up. Early signing day will be here. It's a lot of things to talk about. Man, I like looking at the culture that he built at USF, that he had at USF. Can that transfer to Auburn? It's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, just stay locked in with everybody here on YouTube. We'll have a great. It's gonna be an interesting offseason for sure. 2026 offseason is going to be this offseason coming up is going to be very, very very, very full and very, very interesting. So yeah, man, let's stay tuned in, man, because I'm telling you, twists and turns. If it's anything like this coaching search, twists and turns are coming.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get some kind of announcement soon on staff, and then this is going to be off to the races. So I hope John Cohen got this right. We're obviously going to find out in time. We're going to have a lot of content to do here for you guys and a lot to talk about. So stay tapped in, subscribe today. Go over to the Water Cooler Talk podcast right now as we get done, and go over there and subscribe. Those guys are knocking on the door of 1,000 subs. We need to get them there very, very soon, and
Yes.
I'm sure we will as all of this pops off. So great show, man. Love each and every one of you. Thank you guys for tuning in, always watching, supporting. I love it. I appreciate it. I know my guy Nick does as well. And we will be back next Sunday with another one of these. I will be back tomorrow with y'all know what we're going to be talking about. So love you. Thank you. It's War Damn Eagle. It has been a crazy 48 to 24 hours, and I don't think it's over yet.
No.
So we'll be back, man. War Damn.
Yes, sir.